I do believe a good title for this epic video would be obvious stuff that isn't obvious to most people. And I'm going to start out, I'm holding this right now because I want to have a decent thumbnail. And YouTube will look at this and it'll try to pick out some image from this video, advertise it to the world. So I want to have a arborware. Anyway, so that being done, I can be normal again. Normal for me. Now, you look at Japanese written language, for example, and what they have to go through as little Japanese people to learn how to do that. That's not just for the sake of, I want you to be able to communicate through writing, so we're going to have this complex, very artistic language where you might even frame up a picture of the word automobile. It's about hand-eye coordination, about attention to detail, how you write everything, this brush stroke, even how master writing brush makers spend years as apprentices learning how to do that. It's all about being able to do stuff physically, eye for detail, being correct in what you do, the writing. And why I'm thinking about this is they don't teach cursive writing in school anymore. Sure, when we write, which, how often do we write anymore? It's all, it wasn't just about writing cursive and stuff and pretty penmanship. It was about eye for detail, hand-eye coordination, being able to physically do stuff, whereas now it's all like that. And we lose something from that. Having your ability to do nice cursive writing goes into nice printing, goes into making bows, digging a nice hole. You know, people don't get that. Another obvious thing that should be obvious is, I was watching a thing on teachers leaving the profession because Gen Alpha, is that the name? Screen addictions, and they're just rotten little children by and large. And I'm being somewhat, old man moment, hyperbolic with that statement. I left teaching and went into natural resources when I think millennials were kids. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. But what I noticed was, by and large, kids were pretty good. But it was the parents that got me as much as the kids. If you were to discipline the kid, and an example would be one young man who was a good kid. He was a good math student, really good kid. But one time he did something, so I kept him after school and had him align the desks perfectly and take a Sharpie and draw circles under each one where the feet are for the desk. You know? And he was fine with that. He understood that he was screwing off. He was being a malcontent one day. Fine, I'll stay after school and draw the circles, under the legs of the desks. And the parents were complaining. And I had to have a conference with the parents and explain, you know what? Part of this is not revenge. It's just consequences. It's good that kids have consequences. The point being is crappy parents make crappy kids. In each generation, boomer here, seems to be getting worse. And it's amazing that I'm watching young parents raising their kids doing certain things. It's like, oh my gosh, do you not realize that you're going to raise a monster? It's not that that kid is going to damage society. That kid's going to be a freaking nightmare and is going to live with you forever. What the hell are you thinking? Okay, enough of that. I was staring at this yesterday. Isn't that slick? Isn't that pretty? And I could say runic language, and there's multiple, and it goes throughout different generations, different number of characters, Basically, the basic one would be like the Elder Futhark, and that's just because it's the language F and U. I'm going to stop it there and let your imagination take control. But the levels of it on one hand, and you can see where our language came, you know. You recognize that? You know, our language came from that, written language. And it's different levels. Just writing a letter, a grocery list. And then it gets into like the whole scheme of the cyclical nature of the universe. I'm jumping from 0 to 100 right here. But I'm looking at this pattern, the field right here, and I'm looking at this part. And there's something that I'm drawn to about that. I like that design. And then it's like, from the era when this design, you know, came about, the needly tips and stuff, and bows, you know, going back thousands upon thousands of years, this subconsciously, that field shape, not the stuff written in it, looks like something. It looks like a sword. Thinking, oh my gosh, now that I see that there's a sword, I like something about it and I didn't know what it was. Subconsciously, I picked that out. Should have been obvious, but it wasn't. Should connect this to this. So this is like the sword handle in my next iteration of this within a bow. You get what I mean? Okay, I'm not going to carry this too much further. I'm going to just say I discovered something else obvious yesterday. Now, I wondered if I was the only one that has thought about this. And my bid, $1,000 for the stumps at this one site. And I know it's in the world of stump grinding, I underbid myself, but I went into it eyes open because I'm somewhat unfamiliar with that stump grinder, and I didn't want to lose this job. It's 9 stumps, $1,000, you know, it's a little more than $100 a stump. Easy job because it's not in a lawn. It's like a forest lawn near a lake, you know, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't need to get the remains of the grinding out of the pretty grass. It's just like dirt and forest floor. So that's easy to clean up because it's grinding and clean up. Probably about more time involved in cleanup, and this should be an easy cleanup. Just kind of kick the stuff around. But I was looking at it. What tired me out, didn't tire me out, I could have done more stumps. The first stump I used that machine, being impressed by it. I liked it that the chassis swung. I'm not fighting the pile with the tire, having one tire locked and the other one not. You know, going over when I'm like turning it and stuff, swinging it back and forth, sweeping through the stump. Because the chassis swung, lock both wheels, swing the chassis, and I can go boink and move the wheels even though they're locked if I need to go to the right or the left further. Swing chassis, wonderful idea. Whoever came up with that, it's obvious. Why didn't they think of that first? Never buy one that doesn't have a swinging chassis. Just saying. That evolution should have been carried to every single stump grinder in the world. Swinging chassis. But what is the thing that was tiring about it? It's nose heavy. Wheels are here. All the weight's there. Handlebars here. And constantly pushing down. It's like doing push-ups over and over again for a half an hour. Fortunately, I'm a produce manager and can handle it. Sarcasm. I've got some dumbbells. I've got a 25-pounder. Why don't I just tie the thing to the handlebars? So I tied that 25-pound, or wired it to the pushy downy part, and suddenly it's not tiring. And so you take this thing, a walk behind stump grinder is a beast. It's hard. It's not like using the joysticks and moving the hydraulics. You have to muscle the thing around. Well, you don't have to muscle it because the chassis down swings. And now I don't need to push down hard because it's balanced. Isn't it obvious? And I decided I was going to ask the AIs on the Googles, you know. Does it make it easier to like add weight to the handles of your walk behind stump grinder? And the AIs recognized that and said yes. So why don't they make weighted plates or something like that to balance the stupid things? I mean, the first obvious thing is let's make a chassis swing so you're not making the tires roll over that stuff. The next should be light bulb moment. Let's make weights that make it simpler instead of lashing dumbbells to it. Duh. Well, anyway, now that I saved the world, I think I'm going to make some breakfast. Oh, man. I have a dream. I have a dream that my Social Security is going to start within minutes. I'm going to get that $1,000 job. I'm going to sell both so I don't have to go to the grocery store anymore. Oh my gosh. If you're young starting out in any modern job, you have my condolences. Have a good one. Thank you for watching.